If you're investing in a global index fund right now, and chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably are, something genuinely interesting has just happened. Two new global FTSE All World ETFs have just landed on the market, and they're both cheaper than Vanguard, and they're both cheaper than Invesco. And later in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a fund that's the cheapest of them all. A fund that costs just 0.07% a year. But here's the thing, and this gets to the real point of this video. The lowest cost doesn't necessarily mean the best choice, and I'm going to explain why. In this video, I'm going to cover the two new FTSE All World funds in detail, compare them properly against the existing options, then I'll dig into that 0.07% fund and explain what the headline isn't telling you. For years, if you wanted a one-fund solution for global equity investing, the conversation basically started and ended with Vanguard's FTSE All World ETF. It tracks the FTSE All World Index, which covers large and mid-cap stocks across both developed and emerging markets, around 3,600 companies, roughly 90% of the global investable market, all in a single fund. It's the gold standard for global investing. It's the most widely held, the most trusted, and for a long time, it was the cheapest in class. So throughout this video, we're going to use Vanguard as our benchmark. Everything we look at will be compared against it. Invesco was first, launching their own FTSE All World ETF. Same index, same structure, but their fee was at 0.15%, compared to Vanguard's, which at the time was 0.22%. Vanguard responded in October 2025, and they reduced their fee from 0.22% down to what it is right now, at 0.19%, a significant reduction. But now, within months of that cut, we have not one entrant, but two new ETFs, both coming in cheaper at 0.12%. So let's see how they stack up. Xtrackers FTSE All World UCITS ETF, ticker symbol ALLG. The first new entrant is from Xtrackers. They're an ETF arm of DWS, which is a large German asset manager. The fund tracks the exact same FTSE All World Index as Vanguard and Invesco. It's a physical ETF, which is important, meaning that it actually buys the underlying shares rather than using derivatives. And it's also accumulating so that dividends are reinvested automatically inside the fund. Like I mentioned, the ongoing charge for this fund is 0.12%, which is 3 basis points cheaper than Invesco and 7 cheaper than Vanguard. It's already available on a number of UK platforms, including IG and AJ Bell, and I expect other platforms to follow suit. One caveat with Xtrackers could be brand recognition. It doesn't carry the same weight as a Vanguard or BlackRock. It's quite subjective, but it's something to be aware of. Fund 2, iShares FTSE All World UCITS ETF, ticker symbol FTAW. Following on from the point on brand recognition, this second fund doesn't suffer from that problem. The iShares FTSE All World ETF, launched just gone in May 2025, comes from BlackRock, one of the largest asset managers in the world. Again, same index, same physical structure, it's only accumulating at the moment, and the same ongoing fee at 0.12%. What's notable here is the name behind it. iShares is one of the most trusted ETF brands on the planet. They have an enormous existing range of funds with strong track records. If any new entrant has the infrastructure and reputation to take on Vanguard directly, it's probably them. Now, the small caveat here is that this fund is very new. At the time of recording, it's not even on many platforms, so there's no real track record to speak of. But considering it's from iShares, I'd expect that to change pretty soon. So let's put all 4 FTSE All World ETFs side by side and see how they compare. Now, iShares and Xtrackers are so new that there's barely any chart to look at. But what you'd expect is over time, all 4 lines converging almost perfectly. Same index, same holdings, same market. The fee difference is really the only meaningful variable between them. You can see from the table that all 4 funds track the exact same underlying index. So essentially, you're getting the same market exposure regardless of which one you choose. I think it's important to add some perspective and context here. The difference between the cheapest and most expensive is 7 basis points. On a portfolio that's £10,000, that's £7 a year. On a portfolio that's £50,000, that's about £35 a year. I'm not dismissing that amount of money, but in the grand scheme of things, after a long time horizon, if you look back, you'd see that all the funds are still very cheap. Now let's get to the fund I mentioned at the start of the video. Amundi have an ETF with an ongoing charge of 0.07%. The fund is Amundi's Prime All Country World ETF, ticker symbol WEBG. But here's where I'd pump the brakes slightly, because when you're comparing global ETFs, fees are not the only variable, and in this case, there are a few things worth flagging. The first is that it tracks a completely different index. The funds we've mentioned all track the FTSE All World. But Amundi tracks the sole active GBS Global Markets Large and Mid Cap Index. That's a completely different index from a completely different provider. In practice, there will be a lot of crossover with the companies and sectors that both indexes cover, but the difference is how they cover them, the method, the weightings, and also you don't get the long history of data you get with the FTSE All World. The second point of caution would be the assets under management. Relatively speaking, Amundi is still quite new, and when you compare them to someone like Vanguard, the difference in liquidity is huge. What that essentially means is that there's a higher chance of this fund closing down. It's quite rare, but it's not unheard of. The final point will be the savings in real terms. I just mentioned what the difference would be between Vanguard and iShares in real terms, and relatively speaking, it's quite small. I'm not saying Amundi is a bad choice. I just wanted to bring them up to illustrate the point that focusing solely on the lowest fee isn't always the smartest choice. But with that being said, should you switch to one of the new FTSE All World ETFs that have an ongoing charge of just 0.12%? My honest take, not immediately, and here's why. These funds are brand new, and this is just my personal opinion, but I'd like to see at least a year of operation, a year of data. That way you can look and see if it's tracking the underlying index accurately and closely. If you're currently invested in Vanguard or Invesco, the savings you'd make from switching are tiny. Is it really worth the risk when these funds haven't yet proved that they can track the index accurately? However, if you're starting a new position, then these two funds look fantastic, especially iShares, who have the reputation to back it up. And if you think about this from a big picture perspective, this is good news for all of us. More competition, more options means lower fees. Who knows? Maybe Vanguard will be forced into a position where they have to cut their fees again. As always, none of this is financial advice. Before making any decision, make sure you do your own research. And if you're unsure, please speak to a financial advisor. If you found this video useful, I'll appreciate you giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And if you wanted to see some of this information put into practice, here's a real life example of me investing £20,000 into the stock market. And on that note, I'll catch you in the next one, guys.